Well, welcome back. This is the Engineering Heretic, and I'm Mark Wilson. My friend's drawing. Let's look at the next leg. We've done all the 5 holes on a PCD around here. We want to look at these holes here. They're it's 0.84 diameter and a half inch, 0.5 inch hole here. Of course, for an imperial. We want to do those 2 holes there, and we want to use a particular feature that I'll point out. I'm just going to point out what this feature is. At the moment, I'm in, this is a website called HAS, and it has a very good description of the circular pocket milling, and I'm going to use this because it is supported in NC Plot, but it looks a little bit different than what you would expect. Now, circular interpret pocket milling, there's G12 and G13. We're going to use G13 because we want to go counterclockwise that way because we're going to climb mill this rather than G02, which is the other way around. So we're going to use the G13 facility. And in the, it just so happens that if you cut and paste this directly, I'll just actually cut and paste this directly into just go right click and copy, and we'll go into the NC Plot, and I'll just get rid of that for a second. We'll go File and New and right click and paste. There's a whole bunch of things. This was a program. Don't worry about the end blocks, block skips and things like that. That's the way HAS sets it up. If I just click on that there, this will read the G code here and give you a number of things. We'll just go into zoom there, and you see it's done a number of pocket mills, different examples of them here. So that's just reading the code exactly as HAS would do it, and we want to do kind of the same thing. But we want to, of course, we only want to do 2 holes, not the 3. But there are a number of examples, and it actually, if it writes in here what is going on in this program directly, and we're going to use one of these. I'm just going to cut one line out here and do that. I'll just go File and close this and not save it. No, I don't want to save the changes. No. And we've got, it's basically the same program I've done before for the drilling one. I've just chopped out the drilling bit and put in, I've called it Hole Basic. And we want to mill this pocket in. Now, at the moment, we're set up. We've done all that little preamble. We've turned a bunch of things off. We've gone to the home position in the Z. We call it G54, the tool number 1. We've gone to G00, G90 in absolute, to the X and Y 0 position. So it's sitting right above here somewhere. We've turned the spindle on. We see the height comp there. We're Z. We're going down to, we're still in rapid traverse, so we're going to Z positive 100 thou over the top of the job. And we've turned the spindle on. We're feed rate is 2 inches per minute, and we're spindle clockwise. So now, what I'm going to do is type in a G13 code, which is pocket milling counterclockwise. Now I'm going to put in some figures, and we'll just go back and I'll just refer them to what we're doing here, G13. I'm going to go, first of all, the I value, and let's just check and see what the I value is in the HAS website. The I value is the radius of first circle or finish if no K. We're not using the K, a finish size. We're just going to use the roughing one and not setting it up for a finished cut as well. So we're just going to use the I, which is the radius, which are going to use half of the diameter, which is going to be 0.42. So we'll go into here, we go 0.42. Now we need the Q value, and the Q value here is the radius increment or step over. In other words, as this cuts, hang on, we go back to here, down here, each and every step is the K, the step over, so we need that as well. So we've done the I. This might be, we'll have to see if it works or not. I believe that was the step over. So we're going to do the step over, which is, no, we're not using K at all, are we? Okay, we're using Q. Where's Q? Q is the step over. There's the Q, the step over here. Now we're using, we'll step over by 0.3 of an inch. So we'll put in Q space. You don't have to put a space in Q. Step over of 0.3. It could just be 0.3. Would do exactly the same thing, not the 0.3. We would like to do successive cuts of 25 thou down, and we want to finish at 1/8 or 1.2 or 3 mil or 1.25, which is 1/8 of an inch deep in the end. So we want to go, the Q is 0.3, the L, and I don't think this needs to be a negative figure. I think it's just a positive one, 0.025 thou. The feed rate, we'll put in F, change our feed rate to, the E dimension, which is, the E dimension, which is the E, the F feed rate. Sorry, that's the feed rate. We'll put in, we'll just change our feed rate. At the moment, we've got our feed rate. Remember, it's modal. We've got a feed rate of 2 inches. We could just leave that. I don't think we need to do it. But we can change it to 3 inches if we like. But remember, this is modal. We're already in a feed rate of 2 inches. Okay, so we've called up a feed rate. We could probably just leave that out completely, and it still would work. Now we want a finish depth of negative Z. I believe this needs to be a negative figure, but I'm not really sure. It's a matter of putting it up on the machine and giving it a shot. We'll go negative 0.125 or 1/8 of an inch. And we also need to factor in the tool we're using, and if we're using a 1/8 tool, so 1/8 cutter, quarter cutter, ¼ end mill. So this is to be a backspace, not that one there. We're going backspace. ¼ end mill. All right. So our D, remember we've factored in our D. Our D diameter is the radius of the tool, but we're going to call that up from the list of tools. The D is 1 or 0, 1. Doesn't really matter. This is tool number 1. D comp is the 1 as well. So the height of the tool is set. Where's our height? There's our height. Is tool number 1. The D comp is the radius of the tool is also referring back to tool number 1. That should do something. Let's give it a go. Right, there we are. We are sitting at the moment. We want to get this down to the surface of the job. We'll go. We might as well go G01, which is linear interpolation, which will be the feed rate, and we'll go down to Z0. We'll put a decimal point in there as well, but it doesn't really matter. So now that gets that down on the surface there. We'll redo that. So now, this is on our right-hand side here, a rendition of what we're doing. Now, it doesn't show the step overs. It just shows this loop curling around here, and of course, machining around here. We're going counterclockwise. The cutter's running that way, so we're starting here. We're going to step over, but this just shows a loop here and a loop back again. It doesn't show the cutter step overs, but it will work anyway. Right, now we've done that one there. We would like to, we'll go G80, which is turning off. I don't think we need to do anything more than that. We need to go G0000, Z, we're going straight up, Z 2.1 or 100th thou above the job. And then we're going to pitch over to our next size. Now our next size is going to be it's going to be 3 inches from that hole there over to there. So we'll just pitch over 3 inches back to NC plot. We're up from the job. We've gone straight up. We're in GW in rapid traverse at the moment. We're going to go in X. We're going to the positive direction, 3 inches. 3 inches. Let's just hit the update on that and you'll see here on the screen what's going on. There's our rapid up, rapid over. Now we're in the spot for the next hole we're going to do, which is a different diameter. What we'll do is we'll call up this line here all over again. We'll highlight that, right click, copy, and we'll come down here and we will paste that line there, paste, and we're going to just edit the figures. And the only thing we need to change is the 0.2, because that's now a 0.5 diameter, which is going to be 0.25 in diameter. 0.25, which is half of a 1/4 of an inch, 0.25. And now we should do a smaller hole there. We'll update that. What's wrong with us? Because I've got a a decimal point there. So we get 2 decimal points. That's what the problem is. So we'll just take out one of those. There we go. And read that again and see if that's right. There we have it. So we'll view from the top. We've got a larger hole here, milled out to the same depth. We've got the same step over and a smaller one there. And there is my program ready to go. So it will come along and cut that. Now, it doesn't, we can go, by the way, if you have a space here, your CNC will just skip over the spaces here. If you have a gap there, it doesn't matter. Sometimes when I see, if you look at my end of my program, you'll see that there is, sometimes you've got things you don't want to see here. Remember, that's a rewind to the start. And if I've got things I want to just not see on the screen, I can always just type in M30 and you won't see it because it'll just rewind to the start end program and rewind to the start and do away with all this rapid traverse thing at the end of it. So if you don't want to see it, just while you're doing it, you can leave that there and of course it will just leave that bit out. And of course when you finish the program you can just take that little space out. And you can leave a space there, the CNC will just skip over it. But that essentially will machine those 2 pockets and machine them basically to chips. It'll just go to nothing, won't leave a biscuit in the middle. I'm Mark Wilson and thanks for watching.